Hey everyone, welcome to Big Girl Panties Podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Bean, and I am so excited because we are doing something a little bit different. First, we are filming in the evening and we are on location with my guest tonight, Jess Burns, and she is the founder of The Retreat House. And so Jess is going to be here. We're going to talk all about her new business, The Retreat House. We're going to be talking about who she is, how she started this business, and a little bit about her backstory, which I think you all will be really interested in. And for those of you who are interested in wellness, all the other things that are associated with wellness that we may think about, may not think about, I think you're really going to be intrigued. This is going to be such a treat, and I'm so excited to introduce my next guest, so stay tuned. Jess, welcome to Big Girl Panties Podcast. I am so excited to be with you here tonight and to dive into a bit of your story and what everything about The Retreat House is.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is so exciting.
What would you say is your favorite pastime in Bermuda?
Ooh, okay. So for those who know me well, there's like an equation for good times for me, which is anything that has to do with being outside, hence this. So nature, good people, I'm counting y'all, and activities, because I'm an activities queen. So I would say cycling at sunset with my husband, going for railway trail walks with my sister and her baby, shout out to Olivia, and beach walks with family and surfing with friends wherever Eva's at. Those are my favorite pastimes in Bermuda.
I love it. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of Bermudians can kind of relate to that.
Yeah.
And these are all things that are so simplistic, right? They're things that different people can relate to, and I love that in sharing that, we can kind of get a small piece of like finding out who you are. And I'm sure throughout this conversation, we'll be able to find out a little bit more.
Thank
you. That's a great warm-up question. Who is Jess Burns?
Okay, Jessica Mary Burns, born in 1994. No, I will get serious. So I guess a little bit about who I am. I was born and raised in Bermuda, like most people here. I'm the baby of 3 girls. I grew up feeling surrounded by community, surrounded by nature, and like good friends. And that's kind of built me into my values and who I am today and kind of what I've always sought for like a ideal lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So born and raised Pembroke girl. We were there till I was 13. And yeah, I loved growing up in Pembroke. The neighborhood we grew up in was one of the ones you like go to see for like Halloween, and everyone trick-or-treats there, and my grandma was there. Like growing up in the same neighborhood as your grandma, I now realize is such a blessing.
Absolutely.
Like it was so safe and so fun, and I think that like instilled in me the deep desire to be surrounded by people who are gonna lean their head out the door and be like, hey, like how are you?
Yeah.
I feel like Bermuda's kind of like Hallmark movies, and I never knew it, how amazing everyone is. So that's kind of built me into the person I am.
A brief tidbit when you mentioned about growing up in the same neighborhood as your grandmother.
Yeah.
That tugged at my heartstrings because I grew up with one of my grandmothers living in the same house or downstairs in the same house, and I was so close to all of my grandmothers.
Yeah.
And so I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww.
And so you and I, when we first connected with one another, we actually shared another similar storyline, I guess, or has a similar commonality, and that was unfortunately the loss of our moms.
Yeah.
On that subject, would you be able to share a little bit about your mom?
Yeah.
And just tell us, what was your mom like?
Oh my God. Okay, Kim Burns. Wherever you are, Mom, like she was life force. Like she'd walk in the room and like she would just be so warm and inviting, and she'd look at you and her eyes would light up. Like that's how special she made you feel.
Yeah.
She made you feel like you were important, and she was such a caring friend. And as a mom, I mean, who could ask for a better mom than a nurse? So she was a caregiver, and she was honestly an earth angel. She saw it as her mission because she trained to help people with cancer, and then she specialized in hospice care, which means she helped people pass peacefully. And she was there for so many people's passing, and she wanted to make sure it was peaceful, and she felt like that was her life purpose, was to make people comfortable. And so that was really who she was such a caring person. But she was also a badass girl. Like, she was badass. Like, she was like, she played Bermuda volleyball, like, national team.
Oh, wow.
She just kicked ass on any, like, I don't know, any sport. My mom was not the kind, like, who would, like, let you win. Like, especially as a kid, I'd be like, oh, she's going to be nice to me. No, she's not. She's going to, she's going to teach you how to be competitive. And so, yeah, she was super, like, into sports, very, very, like, smart and academic. Don't know what happened with that. I feel like I got a little bit of the sports side. I'm like, I'm kind of academic, but my mom, like, she excelled in both. I feel like some people just, like, excel in one. She had both. So yeah, she was an amazing person.
Wow.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, she sounds incredible.
She was.
Like you said, just sharing a little bit about her. She was book smart, and she also was into sports, but also how caring she was. For her family, but also for the community. So that's incredible. I love that. I love that spirit. So that's the kind of spirit that once the physical form passes this earth, that lives on. Forever.
I feel her, honestly. Like, it might freak people out here, but I see her in the Kiskadees. Like, she is in every sunrise. She's in every wind that blows. I feel her hugging me. Like, right now, literally, the wind's blowing. She's everywhere for me, but it's equally so sad she's not actually here with me.
I get that. So with that, would you be able to share a little bit, as much or as little as you feel comfortable with, just a little bit about how she passed? What was that experience like?
So she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. We didn't find it until it was stage 4. Tears are good, everybody, and I'm not going to apologize for them because it's everyone's natural instinct. It's like, this is us. There's healing in the water, as my second mother says, Debbie Ray Rivers, head of scars. So tears are good. You'll see a lot of me doing this. So her ovarian cancer experience was really painful. When you hear about people having cancer, I think you just know the tip of the iceberg, but you don't understand, like, she really was in, like, a lot of pain. But she didn't let on. Like, she tried so hard to hide it from her girls, to be strong. And I literally, like, can't believe she fought every day so hard with her competitive spirit, which I've said, she was a competitor and cancer was her biggest competition. And until her last day, she was not going to give in. And her passing itself was a very spiritual experience. I think a lot of us are really shielded from death. I myself have never seen someone literally been there when their soul leaves the earth. But, like, it was crazy. So the day before she passed, she finally, like, let down her wall and looked at me and was like, I'm really scared. I don't know where I'm going. And I, like, tried to be there and just hold space for her. And I went away, and I have, like, this, like, weird ability to write poems. They just fall out of me. And it was one of those moments where this poem fell out of me called Train Ride to Heaven. And I wrote it to help her not be scared about dying. And I painted this picture of her saying goodbye to us on the platform, taking off, and then landing in Canada, because that's where she was from, and seeing her parents again, and the excitement of that, and the excitement of everyone who's waiting for us. And then I remember an hour later, she said to my dad, is there a train coming?
No way.
And then after, in the phase where she was no longer able, you almost, like, lose your ability to see. And I thought she wasn't speaking anymore, and I think she was in the room alone, and something crazy happened. I don't know if she knew anyone was in there, but she was lying on her back, and she said, it's all starting to make sense now.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And that's when I knew she was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I knew something was bigger than what we're going through here, what we know about. And that's when I felt more at peace with what was going on, because she was no longer scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was at peace with it. And yeah, it's been hard.
Wow.
But that was the experience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It sounds like, first of all, thank you for sharing that with me and with us.
Yeah.
You know, you were very transparent in sharing that, and just sharing that it's not just a one-size-fits-all answer.
Yeah.
It was incredibly difficult, but there were also moments that were incredibly sacred.
Yeah.
And incredibly hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Because when your mom reached that perfect, that place of perfect peace almost, and you were able to witness that,
Yeah.
that's not something that could ever be duplicated. That's not something that can ever be bought. That's sacred, and you were able to witness that moment with her.
Yeah.
And that's not something that can ever be repeated. So it's I hate to put words in your mouth, but if I can, I believe that it's an honor to be able to witness something like that.
Yes.
And especially for it to be your mom.
Yeah.
What an incredible gift.
Yeah. And for me, and my sisters, and my dad, we made a promise we would all try our best to be there for her while she passed, because that was her life mission, was to help people pass peacefully.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's our job to help her do the same. She deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we did that. We put on like spa music and everything. It was really relaxing experience.
That's amazing.
I had pictures of Canada on the TV.
Yeah.
Going home on the train. So
that's incredible. That's incredible.
Thank
And
you.
That's incredibly important. And I know that there were so many different emotions happening at that time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the most beautiful gifts that you could have given your mom at that time.
I agree. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you for sharing that with us. With that, how has your journey been like for your healing? How has that been? I know it's and I'm not asking you saying like, oh, how did you heal? I would never do that. How has the journey been for you?
Yeah, it's been hell.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It completely turned my life upside down.
Yeah.
You think when you go through a cancer journey, like you see someone suffer so much and you're running around caring for them. So there's a moment where when they pass you, all of a sudden there is like okay, she's at peace. Like I can breathe.
Yeah. And
you think, okay, there's like this moment of relaxation. And I thought, okay, I can swim again. The waves aren't too choppy. But then, and I hate to, in case someone, and then it felt like someone just literally held me underwater.
Yeah. And
it happened for a really long time where I felt like I couldn't come up and breathe. And it was so painful. And I'm so grateful to my husband, because God, I was probably awful.
Yeah.
And my whole family. But I'm so lucky to have siblings to share this experience with.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how hard it would be to not have that, because just to have someone who literally knows so much of what you're going through.
Yeah.
So it's been really rocky, but one beautiful thing about grief is it makes you reevaluate your life entirely. Mm-hmm. And I literally felt like someone, I was a kid building a sandcastle called my life, and then someone came and literally destroyed it. And then I just got to decide how I wanted to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And I realized there's beauty in that.
Absolutely.
And I thought, I don't want to build it the way it has been. And that's kind of how this has all come about, and how we decided to move home, because I realized I was, living in London. We moved back to London after caring for my mom for 2 years. And I realized I was like, this doesn't fit anymore. I need my community. I need my nature. I need my family.
Yeah.
And the moment I came home, that is when the peace started coming in. But the pain also, because I couldn't lie that she wasn't here.
Yeah.
When you live abroad, you're like, oh, I'll go home. And I didn't realize how much I was masking that. Mm-hmm. And then I get home, and it's really exciting. So I'm like, I'm moving home. And I'm like, she's not here to pick me up at the airport.
Yeah.
And she's not making me that home-cooked meal that she always did.
Yeah.
And so that's been really hard. And she would be here tonight, obviously. Like, my mom was my biggest cheerleader. I love how I was like, don't try not to cry too much, Jessica. You're like pulling my eyes out.
But you're just being real.
I'm just being
you're
real.
Just being real.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's been really hard, and I know there's a lot of people out there who have gone through this. But yeah, every day is just like this, because it's like, this is a big moment for me. It's so exciting, but equally it's so traumatizing, because you're like, she's not here.
Yeah.
She's not here to share it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've got good people along my path to walk it with.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Dry my face.
Yeah. Please have some water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not joking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I resonate with that so much.
Thanks.
I know that my audience who's watched Big Girl Panties before knows this, and people that know me personally. But for those of you who may not know, my mom passed 15 years ago, and I remember I was just about to turn 18. I was just about to go off to university right before she passed, right before she died, and it was a bit of a whirlwind to say the least. But then I was thrown into college, the college experience, so ebbs and flows there. But I remember when I was about to graduate,
Yeah.
a part of me wanted to stay overseas. I was in New York at the time, and the other part of me wanted to come home.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I want to go home. Like, I'm gonna have a job, and
Yeah.
you know, I had a job offer, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to get there. And I come home, and I realized that home is not the same.
Yeah.
Home is not. So I resonate with what you shared. Home is not the same that it was when I left.
Yeah.
And that's a big realization to kind of
The adjustment.
accept
Yeah.
and get through. And my personal story with Big Girl Panties and just different life experiences has taught me that grief's gonna come.
Yeah.
Grief's gonna come. It's not just gonna come within the first few months after losing someone. It's not just gonna come in the first few years, but it's also not going to be, oh, my life is terrible, I'm sad all the time.
Yeah.
It can be like that, but truthfully, life is also gonna show beautiful moments, which my life has shown me.
Yeah.
But there are so many lessons within the grief, and I thank my mom so much for it. It's strange to say, but it's like a hauntingly beautiful gift.
Yeah.
Truthfully, it's difficult and weird to say that, but once you know, you kind of understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like life is a gift,
Yeah.
grief is a part of that, and it's an ongoing journey. It's a forever journey.
Yeah.
The healing journey is ongoing.
Yeah.
So thank you for being honest about where you are in this
too.
present moment with it.
Thank you.
And I loved in your answer one thing that you mentioned about moving home and how you felt about moving home and what you needed.
Yeah.
Community.
Yes.
Community is so necessary.
Yeah.
You mentioned your loving husband and your family, but community in Bermuda, community online, community wherever you find your community, people that can support you when you're going through difficult times, that is a key ingredient to our healing with whatever we're going through. So just wanted to make mention of that as well.
Yeah.
So alongside your personal story, we're here to talk about the launch of the retreat house.
Yes.
So tell me, what is the retreat house and how did that come into fruition?
Okay. So the reason, I guess, the whole point of talking about, and I'll just share this as well, talking about my mom, I'll backstory it first and then I'll answer that if that's okay, is my mom started, where we're sitting now is a holiday rental called Southern Views, and it sits above Horseshoe Beach. And she ran this like a boss.
Yeah.
Like this, you can imagine her little spirit running up and down here, making sure everything looks good, and everything you see is a touch of her love. Mm-hmm. And she did it for her guests, and she ran it for 9 years as a superhost. And she did it so successfully. And when she passed away, my dad tried to take over the business, and it was way too much, like, stress for him. And I started thinking, maybe this is something I can do. Maybe this is like my next step. I want to move home. Maybe this is how I can help my family. Oh, someone's Siri speaking. Is that my mom? Yeah, so I realized, okay, hang on. I could come home, and my career in London, I've been in a corporate job for 10 years. I literally worked in helping small businesses grow that had a philanthropy side. Mm-hmm. So that literally all of a sudden kind of was like, wow, I could help my family's small business grow. Like, of course, like this makes sense. And then I started being like, but this isn't my dream, like my dream. And I was like, what is my dream then? And I had this memory of, because I trained to be a life coach at one point. Mm-hmm. And I woke up, they did this exercise where you wake up to your dream life. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was going to wake up in a scenario actually like this, where I was like the next version of Oprah. It was like my dream life. But I woke up on a retreat with all these amazing people, like women around me in nature. And I was like really shocked by that. Yeah. And I was like, how am I going to make this come true? Had no idea, parked it. Years later, here we are. Universe works in a weird way. Wow. So when I took over Southern Views, my dad was like, if you can use your sales skills to help us fill the beds in the winter, mm-hmm. that would be amazing. Yeah. And I thought, well, why don't we pivot from serving tourists to serving our community? Yeah. And let's, not ask tourists to come in these off seasons where there could be rain like today, but then it cleared because my mom's up there looking after me. And that was when I started being like, this is going to be a thing. The retreat house. So this is how it started the dreams came true. And so the retreat house, in a very long-winded way of answering your question, is a place for wellness events mm-hmm. to happen. So retreats from yoga to surfing. And it's also a place for free retreats for cancer patients to honor my mom. Wow. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's really exciting.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
And how you kind of blended your own hopes and dreams and what you see for your future and blended that purposefully, but not necessarily purposefully, with your mom and how your mom's hopes and dreams and how she lived out her life and what was important to her. You kind of blended that beautifully. Yeah. And I think that you're definitely going to help a lot of people.
Thank you.
You're definitely going to bring together a lot of people, and it brings together your goal of bringing together wellness related groups and retreats, but also community. Yeah. So you're hitting all different avenues. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Can I just say on that community point as well? One of my big intentions when I was younger, I really felt excluded. And I remember that feeling. It was probably 3 years, and I just felt a little bit left out. Yeah. And I remembered my mom talking about her childhood of she'd always go in Canada. You never needed an invite to anything because you just go down to your local sports center, or she paddled, so there was always a place on a lake to go just hang out. You didn't need an invite. Yeah. And I always thought we missed that in Bermuda. There's no place that people can just go where you don't need an invite, other than a bar, but you can't go there when you're a kid. Yeah. I mean,
please don't.
Yeah, don't do that. And so I wanted to create a space like the retreat house where you can sign up on your own. You can come make friends here, and no one needs to invite you. Mm-hmm. It's just literally all on you to sign up. Yeah. And actually, for the surf retreat we just did, most people came on their own.
I love that.
And came away with a community of friends.
I love that.
So yeah.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, so much more to come.
Thank you. Yeah.
And speaking of that, so you shared you had a surf retreat.
I had a surf retreat.
Can you share any other information about upcoming retreats that you're going to have? Yeah. Say this year or what's to come? What retreats are you hosting here?
Yeah, so the ones that you can sign up for now, Eva in the audience here has got another surf retreat, and we might actually add a second one. I mean, it's going to be a third one because they're so popular. So that's November 2nd, and I kept saying the date wrong, so I've got it right this time.
And
November 2nd.
sorry, who's that with?
Eva. So it's Illuminate. So she is put on already our first surf retreat, which was last weekend.
Okay.
So we're doing more. We're going to get more surf sisters out there on the ocean. And then we've got a yoga retreat with Salt Yoga. That's our first overnight retreat. So you can come in, like, stay in these bedrooms and be fed really yummy food and just meet some new people and do yoga. And you don't have to have ever done yoga before. So yeah, that's a November 8th. So you can come for the weekend. And that's the whole thing. They're always on the weekend so that you don't need to take time off work. You don't need to get on a plane. You just drive to Southampton.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
it. Yeah.
That's perfect.
And drum roll, everybody. We're having a grief retreat. So Alexis, would you share a bit more about our grief retreat?
Sure.
Yeah.
So for our listening and viewing audience and our lovely in-person audience that we have here, it's a bit difficult to kind of make that quick segue.
Yeah.
But I am so excited because, Jess, we connected, and I am so excited to host you on this episode of Big Girl Panties Podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm also super excited because you and I are collaborating because we are going to host our very own grief retreat.
Yeah.
Heart. Can I do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the grief retreat itself is going to be a peer-to-peer support. So we're not therapists up here, but Alexis, I'm very grateful, is a grief educator, certified grief educator.
Yes.
So she's designed an amazing experience to come, like, feel your emotions. And she even wrote this book. That's why I held it up. Because it's like journal prompts for working through your grief and talking about your angel. And then we have two amazing other people in the audience. I don't know where they are. Yes, which these guys over here, we're gonna create crafts together, and because it's before Christmas, we're gonna build ornaments. Yeah, so you'll have an ornament that you can create that will remind you of your angel that you can hang up every year. So there's gonna be so much. You'll be fed healing food. So I'm really excited to do it together. I think it's November 22nd we said, and it's gonna be an overnight retreat as well.
Yes.
So I hope to see people there if they're comfortable.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about it. I have been talking about grief and trying to educate people here and there from my own experience, but also information that I've learned over the years. So I have taken 2 different certifications over the years within my own grief journey. I have worked with Grief Recovery Institute as a grief recovery specialist. I have worked with David Kessler and have recently been certified as a grief educator. So super excited about that. And so what that means is I'm able to facilitate peer-to-peer grief support groups. And so that process entails just fellow grievers. We come together because who knows the grief process better than another griever?
Yeah.
And so the grief retreat is going to be an amazing opportunity for people to come together, like-minded individuals in a safe space. And the retreat house is such a safe space. It has such an amazing and calming environment. You have to be here to really get the feel of it, but it truly does. And I'm so excited for people to come here and witness that. Yeah. But you get to come to a calming and relaxing and safe space with other grievers who, they don't know your exact story. They don't know exactly what you're going through, but they can resonate with a similar kind of experience because they understand that they have lost someone. They have gone through something. They have gone through the grief process. So I encourage anyone who has experienced their own grief, who is currently experiencing their own grief journey, to sign up, join us, and we will be together in this safe space, and we will share our stories. You don't have to share everything. This is a safe space. You can share as much or as little as you feel comfortable with sharing. As Jess said, I have my journal that I wrote, Your Love is Alive.
Such a good name.
A guided memory journal honoring your loved one. And it is filled with beautiful prompts that you can use to honor the memory of your angel, as I refer to our loved ones in this journal. And with those exercises, along with other group exercises, we'll be doing art therapy, so the craft exercise, and so many others, because we have this beautiful beach right behind us. We're going to have delicious food made for us, so I'm super, super excited for all of us to come together here, and it's going to be a healing weekend. So I'm so excited to do this with you.
And I can't wait for the bonfire night. It's going to be nice.
So thank you again for partnering with me in this. I'm super excited for us to do this.
I'm so grateful to have met you.
Yeah. No, likewise. So more information about that to come. So I don't want to take up the whole conversation, but this is going to be incredible. So for those of you in Bermuda, or those of you who can kind of get to Bermuda,
come on down.
Hello, catch a flight. but those of you in Bermuda who can be here, I really encourage you to join us on this retreat if you're able to get one of the spots. But connect with us. If you're not able to join us for this one, connect with us anyway, because we have incredible things coming your way. So really excited about that specific retreat, but excited for you, for all your other retreats that you have going.
Thank you.
This is just the beginning for you.
It is. It's really exciting.
So I'm very, very excited.
Thanks.
What would you say, what advice would you offer to someone who may be nervous or unsure about joining a retreat?
I would say I totally get it. When my mom did pass, I used my time off that I was given to go on a retreat on my own. And it was really scary, but it was actually the best thing I've ever done. It was the first time I actually paid for something totally for myself, and on that way, that'd be amazing. I paid for something totally for my joy. And for to better my soul, or not even to better it, just to do what I want. And rather than to add something to your CV, or, it was just a time for me to just completely have fun, go surfing. It was in Costa Rica. It was amazing. And it's actually what the inspiration was of how I'm hoping to design my own retreats as well. So if you're nervous, I get it. It's going to be nervous. But put your big girl panties on. And I hope to see you there. Sometimes you just have to do it scared. Yes, do it scared. I love that. Yes, do it scared. But also, if you have any questions, I'm sure people can reach out to you. Reach out to me if they're unsure about anything. And kind of, there are people who can help ease your fears. So if you're nervous, reach out, but do it scared. Put on your big girl panties. Do it scared. I love that. So what would you say has been the best part about your business and running the retreat house so far? Okay, hands down, easy question, the amazing people I'm getting to collaborate with. I can't believe how many badass women entrepreneurs there are on this island. I'm not joking. This is every person, I'm sorry, man, everyone's a woman I've met. Every badass I've counted, because I want the impact to be all the small businesses I'm helping and collaborating with. And I've counted 13 so far, and we launched 2 weeks ago. Wow. And that's been the best part, is working with Bermudian women who are just so inspirational. Because at first when I said goodbye to this corporate job, I was like, am I never going to have a colleague again? I was like, it's so weird. It's going to be me. And I love a little banter. And the next thing I knew, I get to choose all my colleagues. Wow. Just like you. That's been the best part, is all the cool people and the wellness space. Everyone keeps saying to me, I've been waiting for this. Sign me up. There's so many people here in the audience today who are I want to be a retreat leader. I'm like, I want you to be one too. So that's been the best part. That's amazing. Yeah. And so where can people connect with you? How can people find out more about the retreat house? How can people get in touch? I would say reach out on Instagram. I hope you have Instagram, but if not, I'll give you my number. It's theretreathouse.bermuda. Slide into those DMs, and I will respond to you there. But if not, can I give my number on a live podcast? Or no, probably not. Okay. Okay, well then Instagram it is. But can I give an email?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can also email me at theretreathouse.bermuda@gmail.com because I haven't paid for my own domain yet, so it's at Gmail. So yes,
Okay,
that's it.
perfect.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in touch with Jess and the Retreat House,
Yeah.
contact her on Instagram, contact her via email, and we're going to also make sure that we have her Instagram and her email address in the show notes of the episode if you want to get in touch with her.
Yeah.
And you can also reach out to me if you didn't catch that on Instagram at BGP Life, or where am I? Also on Facebook,
Everywhere.
BGP Life blog, on TikTok
Yes,
at
girl.
BGP Life.
Yeah.
Just reach out if you want to get in touch with me or if you want to get in touch with Jess for the Retreat House. So super excited for you.
Me too, and you too.
So final question here, or just as we close. You are doing incredible things. As you said, it's just been 2 weeks since you've been in business, but this idea, this business, this dream has been in your heart forever.
Yeah.
It's been coming together for a while.
Yeah.
And we're having this episode here tonight to share about this with the world and also in front of people at your lovely launch party.
Thank you.
What do you think your mom would say?
Oh, what would my mom say? I know what she would do, 'cause she always did this. She'd go like this with her arms in the air. She'd always dance like that. But she'd say something with the word sweetie in it. Probably like, I'm so proud of you, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Sure your mom is so proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
think I can speak for everyone here. We are so proud of you.
Thank
This
you.
is only the beginning, so I'm so excited for you.
This is a dream come true moment.
Yeah.
Pinch me. Yeah. Okay,
So-
don't actually pinch me.
I won't do that.
Cockroach is gonna do
I'll
that for
hold
you.
off on that.
Okay.
But Jess, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Big Girl Panties Podcast. I am overjoyed. I know that my audience has probably been able to connect with you more. I'm sure that everyone is rooting for you the way that I am rooting for you. If you were in Bermuda or able to get to Bermuda, contact Jess, get in touch with her, come and visit the retreat house, join in on one of the retreats, sign up for one of her retreats.
Yeah.
And join us on this continued wellness journey. So I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
As we close, Jess, last question, and I know you know the question.
Yes.
So be ready for me.
All right.
What does putting on your big girl panties mean to you? What does that look like in your life?
Okay, putting on my big girl panties doesn't just happen once a month. Putting on my putting on my big girl panties means to me to lean into my fear, because on the other side of it is living your dream. We all have dreams within us that we are put on this earth to live. And then you have fears that get in the way. So put on your big girl panties or big boy panties and live your authentic life.
I love that.
Because there's joy and there's going to be pain until you do it, because the universe won't settle until you do.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. Yes.
That's beautiful. I love
Thank
that
you.
answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you. All right, guys, do we have any questions in the audience? Please say yes. Did I see a hand? No. Go on, baby.
Hello. Amazing podcast. Excited to hear about the retreats that you mentioned, the surf, the yoga. Could you give a bit more detail around other stuff, a bit more detail around the cancer retreat that you mentioned, other ideas that are in the works? What can we expect to see?
Thank you, husband. Great question. Clearly didn't say enough there, my bad. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of other retreats. We've got ideas like acrobatic yoga, which is where you throw each other around. It's a really great thing to do as a couple. It really is. It's really fun. So that's one. I've had someone ask me to put on like a writer's retreat. So if anyone's a writer here in the audience, someone's asked to put on a baking retreat, potentially getting, what's that amazing bakery you love, Laura? Getting Tuck Shop to come like put on a baking retreat. So there's all those kind of things. We also have someone in the audience, was it a Qigong retreat, which is doing like martial arts. Have I understood that correctly? Not at all. Okay. Sorry about that. Meditation and breathing retreats. But pickleball retreats, you name it, like whatever you're interested in, we can put it on. Like there's no limit here. If you're interested, like let me know. I'll find someone, because they seem to just literally, I've spoken to like 20 people in the last week who want to do something cool and different. So yeah, there's something for everybody. And then the cancer retreats, shout out to Pals. They are amazing. They're going to put on, we're putting on together free cancer patient retreats. So that means anyone who's got cancer or has had cancer, you can come and have a weekend of respite here at the house, completely free, where you get fed food, nourished, healthy food. You come and you do chair yoga with Eva. You get to do art therapy. You get to do sharing circles. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing place to just, or don't do it at all. Like, you can relax and stay in your room. Like, do what you want, but it's going to be a free holiday for cancer patients. So hopefully that'll be in November, pending sponsorship. We're hoping, or in the new year, but it's going to happen. Everything's been happening, so it's going to happen. Yeah. Anyone else?
Thank you, Jess. I just wanted to say, in listening to the podcast, something that might not become apparent to people that are out there as listeners is that the retreat house is an amazing vision realized by Jess's mother. It is one of the most spectacular homes in Bermuda, with a view I cannot even begin to describe of Horseshoe Bay, our most beautiful beach. And it's set up so wonderfully for a retreat in that there are several different levels going down the hillside, which guarantee privacy, but all have the same amazing view. And it has the ability to have people doing things in different spots in the house, and yet having an intimacy where it's all connected and it's all really integrated into what is Bermuda's most strongest point, I would say, which is nature. And when you're here and you hear the sound of the ocean and you hear the tree frogs and you hear just the wind and see the clouds, you're in a magical place. And any retreat center that you go to in the world, that's a component that everyone wants. They want to go to a magical place. And Jess has created a magical space.
I feel like my mom just spoke through you. She's like, don't forget to mention how nice I made this house. Okay. Okay, anyone else in the audience? Okay. We're sharing a mic. That's why I have.
So you said what kind of retreats you're going to have, but can you share what people might expect? Like, what's a typical day? When do you start an activity? Is there anything else? Can you give us a little bit of a brief itinerary?
I'll start, I guess. We could start with our itinerary, or I could start with Eva's. 8 to 8 p.m. is our day retreat with Eva. So that's a surf retreat. So as an example, she makes sure there's yummy, nutritious food when you arrive. So she had protein bowls and smoothies, and we all sat on the balcony upstairs and got to know each other. And then we had yoga, and it was very relaxing yoga, not strenuous at all, which I was very glad for myself because I participated. And then everyone went down to the beach, did their activity, which was the surfing, came back up, had lunch, relaxed by the pool, and I can't remember, but oh yes, and then Oh, then a sound bath. We did yoga and a sound bath again. And that was amazing. And so other retreats are going to be you check in Friday night after work. Again, you don't need to take any time off. And you have a sharing circle. You're welcomed with everyone. You get to know each other. And then the next day you wake up, you do some movement, whatever activity, whether it's like cooking, acro yoga, you name it, whatever not martial arts. You do your activity. It's just gathering and doing the activities and eating good food and being fed and deeply connecting, because the tagline of the retreat house is connecting more deeply with yourself, others, and the natural world around you. And the day's structured around that. So yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, Joanne? Wait, hey. Oh, you do? Because we're recording it. Go, Joanne.
Wow. Well, I was one of the people she met recently. And I would like to offer to do an herbal workshop with folks. Okay? So I put it there. I'll put it out there to you. So we just have to decide when we could do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, that would be amazing. Would you share the kind of amazing teas that you've got?
I have so many. I'm going to just... Tea-bar is my business, and my daughter, Akila, helps me, and my other daughter, Zakia, also helps me, and we will be online soon. We're getting a website put up. It should be up by November. And some of the teas I have some of the traditional Bermuda teas, peppermint, dandelion, lemongrass, hibiscus, and many of the teas that we have drank all our lives. And then I also have teas. The teas are I bring them in, and the company I bring them in from sources them from around the world. And I can actually take out a sheet and show you how anything's been manufactured, if it's been manufactured anywhere where there are nuts or any other things that people might be allergic to. So it's very finite in its presentation, so that people know that they're getting really good stuff. I have things like moringa, arthritis tea, head to toe. Help me out here. Belly Become, relaxation teas, sleep things to help you sleep, things to help you relax your brain and just chill. So just a myriad of teas. Things for helping you to think, but clear your head so you could think better. And yeah, you asked for it, I have it. Even have blue tea, the butterfly pea blue tea. And I add to them, I tend to have mostly herbal teas. I don't do black, I do some green, but generally they have some medicinal value. So thank you.
Yeah. My name is Nina London, and I'm a cancer survivor. And going through this and listening to the story of your mom and knowing that how it's important, they're really supporting. It's not only when it's husband with you and family, but also people who are going the same, having the same experience, the same pain, the same fears and anger and sadness, depression, everything. And it's incredibly important. And it's also made me to create Healing Vibes program for Pulse patients. So, and I would love also to participate and help women to, not only women in Bermuda, to not only survive during this most difficult time in our life, but thrive and blossom like radiant flowers. So thank you so much from all women, cancer survivors and cancer patients. to do this. I cannot tell you how important it is, this part of the job that you are doing. Thank you. Thank you from all of us.
Sorry. Does this work? So if people are wanting to organize retreats and they have like a specialty, but they're worried about who can I work with for food or bringing in other talent, who can they work with? I think there were a couple of vendors tonight. Is it something that you can help them orchestrate? Yeah.
I love that question because I should have also mentioned the intention of the retreat house is to help retreat leaders put on retreats. So it's a retreat in a box. So my husband coined it and I'm stealing it. So I will help you pick a cook. So there were 3 chefs here tonight, and you can choose from one of them. I can help you on the day, support you to make sure you use your time to connect with your people who are attending your retreat, rather than running around trying to run your own retreat. Leave that to us. So retreat in a box. So when you do come host your own retreat, because I know it's going to happen, I can help you put it all together. That's what I'm here for. So yeah. I also like marketing and sales, so I can try and help you there too. Did I see you have a question? No? No. Okay. Anyone else? I've loved this, guys. Perfect. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Ah, thank you, guys. Thank you. Without my dress, you lifting my dress again.